kill that slut.
With pleasure.
Like Miami Vice.
Our story kicks off in a college classroom where Gary Johnson, a philosophy professor, is giving a lecture on Nietzsche. One of his students makes a comment about putting yourself out there, which seems to hit Gary on a personal level. He overhears another student mocking his car, making him realize that his own life is a bit too low-key. Gary's your typical mild-mannered guy. He lives alone with his 2 cats, ID and Ego. But here's where it gets interesting. In his spare time, Gary works with the New Orleans Police Department, pretending to be a hitman to catch people who try to hire contract killers.
My name is Gary Johnson, and
oh my gosh, Gary sounds like he's living the most extreme double life ever. Like, 1 minute, he's all about Nietzsche and philosophy, and the next, he's undercover, pretending to be a hitman? Talk about a plot twist in your career path.
I'm a civilian. And you might want to check this out real quick.
When the department's usual undercover guy, Jasper, is suspended, the officers, Claudette and Phil, ask Gary to step in. He's nervous and worried he might get himself killed, but he agrees to take on the role. Enter Billy, Gary's new hitman persona. When Gary meets with his first client, Craig, he surprises everyone, including himself, by transforming into a cold, convincing hitman. Craig takes the bait, asks Billy to kill his target, and boom. The cops swoop in to make the arrest. Whoa, Gary went from professor to straight-up action hero real quick. It's like when you're so good at a role-playing game that you shock even yourself. Also, poor Craig probably didn't see that one coming at all.
You understand?
You got him, man. Great job, Gary.
Gary continues his undercover mission, becoming different types of hitmen to lure out would-be killers. He's so good at his job that even in court, some of his targets accuse him of entrapment, but most of them end up getting jail time anyway. Gary's new double life even starts to impact his teaching. Suddenly, his students are way more interested in what he has to say.
You don't know yourselves?
I mean, imagine finding out your philosophy professor is moonlighting as a hitman. No wonder his students are suddenly hanging on to his every word. He's like the ultimate real-life action star with a side of existential dread.
Like Miami Vice.
Everything changes when Gary gets a new assignment. A woman named Madison Figueroa Masters. He does a little Facebook stalking, and finds out she has no criminal record. When they finally meet in a diner, under the alias, Ron, Madison tells him she wants to have her husband, Ray, killed. But there's a twist. Gary quickly becomes smitten with Madison. Instead of taking her money, he convinces her to leave Ray and start a new life. Claudette and Phil aren't happy that Gary let Madison off the hook, but Gary's in too deep now. He's fallen for her, and the lines between his personal and undercover life start to blur. Oh no, Gary, what are you doing? Falling for the person you're supposed to be setting up is like the #1 rule of what not to do. This is going to get messy, isn't it? Madison and Gary's relationship heats up. They even go to a dog adoption fair together, even though Gary's a cat person. Madison is charmed by how kind and gentle Gary is, and they start spending more time together. Their chemistry is undeniable, and eventually, they end up back at her place, where things get steamy. Gary keeps this new romance hidden from his superiors at the police department, which is a risky move considering the kind of trouble he's getting himself into. Okay, pause. A cat person falling in love at a dog adoption fair? That's when you know it's serious. But honestly, Gary's really playing with fire here. Keeping a romance like this under wraps when you're involved with the police? Yikes. While out on a date, Gary and Madison run into Ray, who's none too happy about seeing his soon-to-be ex-wife with another man. Things get heated, and when Ray threatens Madison, Gary pulls a gun to protect her, forcing Ray to back off. But trouble follows Gary in the form of Jasper, who seems suspicious of what's going on. Later, Gary gets a call from another potential client. Someone named Mike. But surprise! It's actually Ray, and he's hiring Gary to kill Madison and her new boyfriend. Gary reveals his true identity to Ray and scares him off, then rushes to Madison's house to warn her that her life is in danger. Oh my gosh, the drama. Ray hiring Gary to take out Madison and himself? That's a next-level plot twist. And Gary revealing his real identity to Ray? Bold move, but also, maybe not the smartest play.
I think he might do it himself.
Soon after, Gary learns that Ray has been found dead, in what looks like a drug deal gone wrong. When he goes to tell Madison, she drops a bombshell. She killed Ray after finding out he wanted her dead.
Yeah.
Gary confesses to Madison that he was never really a hitman, but was just playing a role to catch criminals. Madison is furious and feels betrayed. The police start to close in on Madison as the prime suspect in Ray's death, but they don't know she's onto them. They send Gary in to try to get a confession while he's wired. But Gary, now truly in love with Madison, secretly lets her know they're being listened to. They manage to put on a convincing act, fooling the cops for now.
I'm catching heat for the death of your husband.
Wow, talk about a tangled web.
And I don't blame
Madison finding out that Gary's been lying all along and then still managing to pull off that act together? That's what I call a toxic ride or die situation. I don't know if I should be impressed or terrified.
Hey,
You give her or she's innocent.
Things take a darker turn when Jasper shows up at Madison's house, planning to blackmail them for a cut of Ray's insurance money. Madison, quick on her feet, drugs Jasper's beer. As Jasper starts to lose consciousness, Gary steps in and calmly suggests they stage his death as a suicide. They share a moment, admitting their love for each other as Jasper takes his last breath.
dirty cop.
Oh no, they're really in too deep now. This whole drugging and staging a death thing is like a Shakespearean tragedy mixed with a crime thriller. They've officially crossed every line, haven't they? Years later, we see Gary teaching a much larger class. His life has definitely changed for the better. He's now married to Madison, and they have 2 kids, plus 2 dogs. When their daughter asks how they met, Gary and Madison smile at each other and tell a sweet, made-up story about a chance meeting at a cafe.
After all, life is
I can't believe they actually ended up together, living this picture-perfect life after all that chaos. It's like they turned their whole dark past into a happily ever after. But let's be real, that's one love story they'll never tell their kids.
Being all tough. It sure is.
Alright folks, that wraps up our recap of Hitman. This movie really delivered a unique blend of action and humor with a twist you didn't see coming. It's a wild ride from start to finish. So, what do you think? Was this hitman a hero in disguise, or just another guy with a complicated past? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if there's a movie you'd like me to recap next, drop your suggestions. And don't forget, you can find links to other movie recaps right here. Make sure to check those out if you want more awesome movie breakdowns. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our other exciting videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe and stay awesome.